Hello everyone, I'm back again, it's Mark. I'm just going to do a video today about my filter kit. I'm just going to go through it, talk about the filters, when I use them, why I use them. But first of all, I need to apologise because the sound on the last two YouTubes I've done has been terrible. The second one at Castle Hill was me being a bit thick. I didn't realise when you use the Zoom H1 external recorder and a Rode lav mic, you needed an adapter to fit in to make it work. Hence why the recording was really bad, because I thought I was recording to the lav mic, but I wasn't. I was using the inbuilt microphone on the Zoom H1, which was shoved in a pocket, hence why there was a lot of rustling noise. So I do apologise. So hopefully I've got it figured out now. I'm hoping the Zoom H1 and the lav mic here is picking up the sound okay. So filters. As I've said in a previous video, I use a Lee system. I use the 100 system. These filters I have picked up over a number of years. Some of them I haven't used a lot. Some of them I use all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through them quite quickly with you, not spend too much time, just to give you an idea of what I use and the reason behind them. So as you can see by the tripod here, this is what it looks like when you're using the adapter holder. I'll show you closely on this one. So what you've got is an adapter ring that goes on the front. Yeah, so you can see that it's just a metal ring that goes on the front. This ring is the same size as what a filter thread is. So this one, for example, is 77mm, and it's what they call the wide-angled adapter ring, and then they do a 77mm standard. The reason they brought out a wide-angled adapter ring is because if you use a wide-angled lens and you use a standard ring, there was a bit of vignetting around the side. So all it means is it just brings the filters closer to the lens. So that's what you need, yeah? Then what you get is what they're called a holder, which is this. It looks quite simple, and it is, to be honest. This one's set up to use for 3 filters, as you can see there. And all this one does is you've got 2 little, I'd call them wedges at the side, and all you do, they fit into a slot on your adapter ring like that, and then you pull this brass buckle out and it just sits on like that, and it can spin round 360 degrees. So that's the basis of the 100 system by Lee. Then what you do then is the filters then fit in to these slots here, and this one's set up for 3. 1, 2, 3. This one on the camera, I'll show you, is exactly the same. This is set up for 2 filters, as you can see there, but this has got the polarizer, the Lee landscape polarizer on. I decided this year to get 2 holders because these polarizers, circle polarizers by Lee, are quite faffy. So what I decided is to have 2 holders. So I always keep the polarizer on this one now, so I'd have to keep taking it off when I'm not using it, and then the other one, the other holder, has no polarizing ring on or anything like that, so I can just swap and change without having to try and get this off. I mean, it does come off quite easy, as you can see, but it is quite a fragile piece of glass. You can see it's quite thin, and then that's the ring it goes onto there, so it just screws on. And to be honest, I got a panic on every time I was screwing this on, so I just made the decision to have two holders now. So what goes in the holders? There's various filters out there now. The 2 main ones are neutral density and neutral density grads. Neutral density are these. So this is what they call a Lee little stopper, and neutral density is just a piece of glass that cuts out certain amounts of light or certain stops of light. So this one is a 6 stopper. So what this does, as you can see, would cut out 6 stops of light, and it's just called a neutral density filter. People use these, and I use these, if you want to slow movement in clouds, if you want to show movement in water and slow down the water to see, or to smooth it out. For example, if you're on the coast and you want to smooth out waves, you would use a neutral density filter, such as the 6 stopper. Lee also do 2 more glass ones, which is the big stopper, which is 10 stops, and the super stopper, which is 15 stops. And what it means is you can have a longer shutter speed. So the idea is it cuts out 6 stops of light, which means then you can have a longer shutter speed, which will smooth any waves out, which would show movement in the clouds, which would show movement in a waterfall, for example. So that's what these are used for. I have the 3, so I have the 6 stopper, the super stopper, and the 10 stopper. I also have, I think somewhere, a resin. Yeah, this is a resin 0.6, so it's the same as the glass one, except it's resin, and this is equivalent of 2 stops. So you can see with the 6 stop I showed you earlier on, you couldn't see me through that, but with this one you can now. I've never used this one, to be honest. I didn't realise it till I looked in my filter case. So they're neutral density filters. The next set of filters that I have and I use are neutral density graduated filters. I have talked about these previously. The idea of these is that the filter is graduated. I'll show you what I mean. So this one, for example, is the 0.6 medium graduated filter by Lee. And as you can see, if I bring it in, it's darker at the top there, and then it graduates down to clear. You can probably see better here. So it's darker at the top, and then as you go further down towards the middle, the darkness gets less and less, and that's why it's called a graduated filter. What the medium means is the graduation is slight. It's they have 3 gradients, I think that's what you'd call it. There's the soft graduation, the medium graduation, and the hard graduation. This one is in the middle of the medium and the soft and the hard. The hard, the graduation would be, you'd see it quite visibly. You know, it would stop and then you'd see the light. Softer, it would even be softer down here. Medium's in the middle. Lee have brought these out a couple of years ago, the medium ones, and I like them because I think it covers both the soft and the hard. If I had my time again and I was buying filters, I would probably just go for the medium graduated filters because it covers both things. The idea is when you're looking at a shot and you need to expose the sky and the foreground the same, if you tried exposing for the sky and got the sky right, you would find that the foreground would be dark. If you metered for the foreground and got that spot on, you would probably find that the sky would be blown out. I showed it on the previous video with reverse grad. Have a look at that. It's easy to explain once you're there at a place and you can show it. So the idea of using a graduated filter is to even them out. So what I do is I normally meter for the foreground, get that looking how I want it to be, and then I use graduated filters on the sky to bring it down. So yeah, have a look at the reverse one, because it's easy to show you when you're in camera. So that's the medium ones, and all they do, if it's just fit into the slots, and then what you do then is you look through the live view or the viewfinder and then just place it where you need on the horizon. As you can see, they're not dropping out. They've got like a pressure system on these guide rails here, and you can move it up and down how you need. If you want to tilt it so you don't want it to be straight, you can do. So you can bring it in that way as well. Okay, so they're the graduated filters. I use the graduated filters more than any other filter apart from the polarizer. I've got all the sets for the soft grads, and I've also got the medium grads now, and I've also got the hard grads. The hard grads I hardly ever use. The only time I use them if I'm on the coast and you've got a straight horizontal line. I will show you the hard grad because it does give you an idea. If I can find it. Okay. So this is a 0.6. So measured stopwise, 0.3 is 1 stop, 0.6 is 2 stops, and 0.9 is 3 stops of light. So this is the middle one. But as you can see there, you can see there's a more defined line across there. The softer would be more graduated down here. The medium would be in the middle of these two, but you can see there that there is a more defined line across there. So this is the hard one. The new one that I've just got from Lee is the reverse grad, which I have talked about on another video, so I'm not going to go through that today. So what we've talked about now is the neutral density filters that are completely black, or the 0.6, the 6 stop, the 10 stop and the 15 stop, and also the grad ones. The polarizer which is on there is probably the filter I would recommend anybody to get if they're starting out with landscape photography, because it's really useful. Other sets that I've got, which I keep in these little wallets that you get from Lee, which to be honest I'm finding quite useful at the moment. This one is a landscape set, so when you fold it out, this pouch or cover wallet will hold 3 filters. So you've got 1, 2, 3. And the landscape kit consists of a blue filter, a straw filter, and then the last one is a sepia filter. And I think the idea why they call it the landscape, because I think it's, if you are out in the landscape somewhere on a shoot and you want to bring out the sky a little bit more, you'd pop the blue filter in. If you wanted to pick out, bring out the vibrance of the foreground with trees and things like that, you would use the green or the straw filter. So that's another set that I've got. And the other one is the mist filter, which again I have talked about in a previous video. I'm going to try this year, because I tried it over the Christmas period and I was really impressed with the end product. So I will be using the mist filters a little bit more. What else? Adapter rings. Like I said, the adapter rings that you buy for Lee correspond to the filter thread. and I just keep mine in little pouches. So I've got a Lee adapter ring for every lens that I own, just in case I ever decide to take that lens out. So for example, the lens I've got on this one is the Nikon 16-35 f4, which I think, yep, 77mm wide angle. And the one that I've got on this one is, that's a 77mm standard, and the lens I think is the 24 to 120 f4. So they all vary, but the good thing about using the Lee system is you only need to buy the adapter for that lens. Everything else I've shown you, the holder system, the filters, you don't need to buy separate ones depending on what lens you use. So it's just the one, the adapter for that lens. Everything else is compatible with it. The other thing that I use now and again is the Lee filter hood. I have talked about this in a previous video as well. It just goes, it would sit there. So it would take the place of the holder and it would sit like that on your lens. As you can see, the back of it is exactly the same as, yeah, it's exactly the same as a normal holder. So what it is, it's a holder built in. This one's set up for 2 filters, and then you've got these bellow hoods at the front. And the idea is, if you're taking shots direct into the sun or the sun's coming in, you could block the sun out. So yeah, you move it how you want. If the sun was here, coming down, you could move that out. They are good. It's a bit of a luxury, to be honest, because they're not cheaper, these, and you would only use them in certain occasions. I've seen a lot of professional landscape photographers use them all the time because it protects your filters from rain. You know, so if you got filters in, it does give some protection, and also the front of your lens to rain as well, and things like that. So they have got the uses as well. What do I keep my filters in? I'm having a bit of a nightmare at the moment storing my filters. I was using the Lee field, I think they call it a field pouch, which is just a canvas pouch that you can put your filters in. And I think it holds 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, probably 10 filters. I got a bit annoyed with it because it's okay holding the filters, as you can see. You know, I've got some in here. It's brilliant at holding the filters, but then if you wanted to put the holder in there, it got a bit crammed, I thought. So I made the decision then to buy this one from Lowepro, which is the Filter Pouch 100. And I have been using this now since, and again it's the same idea. It's a little bit more compact than the Lee one, and then you just have little pockets inside where you can put the filters in. I was putting the filters I need in here, and also the holder with the polarizer in the front as well, and it was quite secure. The only thing I found with these two carry cases is sometimes it's difficult to find the filter that you want. What I'm going to try the next time I go out is I'm going to separate the filters and put them into these. So like I've got on this one here, this small here has got my 3 medium neutral density filters in there. And I was thinking about it the other day, you know, if I took my medium neutral density filters, my mist set, and a couple of the neutral density ones like the little stopper and the big stopper, then I'd be looking at something space wise that looks like that. and I just think it's a little bit easier than taking that out. We'll see. We'll see. I'll give it a go. So they're the filters that I use. I'm no expert with these filters. I'm learning every time I go out. I get back home and look at the images and think, yeah, I should have done that. The hardest thing I've found regarding filters is the trying to find out what sort of strength filter you need. So whether you need the 0.3, the 0.6, or the 0.9. I'm starting to find a way of doing it now via some clips on YouTube. I saw how people do it, and it's not that technical. It is just a matter of metering for the foreground, metering for the sky, and then just seeing what stops there are in between, and that's the strength of. So if there's 3 stops in between, you know, the shutter speed is 3 stops, then use a 3 stop. What I normally do, I just have a guess and just see what it looks like. I do get it wrong more times than not. Luckily the Castle Hill shoot I did the other day, and I was using the reverse grad, I seemed to get it right, so I was happy with that. So that's my Lee filter kit. Any questions, don't hesitate to drop me a message. I will be doing some more videos, so please like if you like it. If you don't like it, leave a comment to say why. And please to subscribe. I'm on 9 subscribers at the moment, so I'm hoping to hit double figures this year. So thank you for listening.